In the heart of Spain stands a monument of faith and time, the Salamanca New Cathedral. Its construction began in the 16th century, built upon centuries of history, a testament to human artistry. Every stone seems to whisper tales of a bygone era, of kings, saints, and master craftsmen. Its walls are a library of sculpture, where biblical scenes and mythical beasts are immortalized in rock. The level of detail is staggering, with each figure telling a part of a much larger story. These carvings were the storybooks of their time, meant to educate and inspire the illiterate masses. But hidden in plain sight among the saints and demons is something that defies all explanation. An anomaly, a figure so out of place, it has sparked decades of debate and wild theories. It's a carving that, according to our understanding of history, simply should not be there. Prepare to question everything you know about the past as we reveal this impossible artifact. There, nestled among vines and saints on the Puerta de Ramos, is the unmistakable figure of an astronaut. It's not an illusion or a pareidolia trick. The details are precise and deliberate. We can clearly see a helmet with a visor, a breathing apparatus on the chest, and thick tubing. The figure wears a bulky suit, complete with a belt and heavily treaded boots gripping the pillar. It's a perfect miniature replica of a 20th century space explorer carved in ancient stone. How could artisans from the 16th or 17th century possibly know what a future astronaut would look like? The question immediately ignites the imagination, leading many to one popular, extraordinary conclusion. Could this be evidence of ancient astronauts, visitors from another world who guided our ancestors? This theory suggests that advanced beings left their mark on our most sacred and ancient structures. It's a tantalizing idea, a simple answer to a seemingly impossible puzzle. But is it the right one? The ancient astronaut hypothesis is compelling because it connects disparate mysteries from across the globe. From the Nazca lines in Peru to the pyramids of Giza, some argue for extraterrestrial intervention. Proponents point to ancient texts and artworks that seem to describe flying machines and strange beings. In this context, the Salamanca astronaut isn't an anomaly, but another piece of a grand puzzle. Could the artisans have been depicting a visitor they actually saw, using the artistic style of their time? The theory suggests a transfer of knowledge, technology, and perhaps even a warning or a message. It's a narrative that elevates our past from simple history to an epic science fiction saga. This explanation feels grand, mysterious, and more exciting than simple historical facts. However, when we apply logic and historical investigation, a very different picture begins to emerge. The truth is often less spectacular than fiction, but it can be far more fascinating. Historians and art experts are almost universally united against the ancient astronaut interpretation. For one, the carving style, while integrated, shows a sharpness inconsistent with 500 years of weathering. The surrounding figures are heavily eroded, their features softened by centuries of exposure to the elements. The astronaut, by contrast, looks remarkably new, as if it were carved much more recently. This leads us to the real story, which lies not in ancient aliens, but in modern preservation. Great cathedrals like Salamanca are not static objects. They are constantly being maintained and repaired. Stone erodes, pollution takes its toll, and sections must be restored to prevent collapse. This process of restoration is a delicate art, blending old techniques with modern necessities. And within this tradition of restoration lies a surprising custom, one that holds the key to our mystery. The truth isn't in the sky, but in the hands of the people who cared for this building. In 1992, the Salamanca Cathedral underwent a significant restoration project focusing on the damaged Puerta de Ramos. The project was overseen by head stonemason Geronimo Garcia, a master of his craft. For centuries, it has been a tradition for stonemasons to add a small, contemporary element during restoration. This acts as a signature, a timestamp, proving that restoration work was done in a particular era. It's a way of saying, we were here and we helped preserve this magnificent structure. Following this long-standing tradition, the restoration team decided to add a symbol of the 20th century. What could be a more potent symbol of modernity and human achievement than space exploration? And so, the astronaut was chosen. It was carved by the masons working on the project. The mystery is solved. It's not a message from the stars, but a signature from 1992. But the astronaut isn't the only modern addition. There's another, even more whimsical carving nearby. Just a few feet away from our celebrated astronaut, another anachronism hides among the foliage. It's a figure that blends in so well, most tourists and mystery hunters completely miss it. Look closely, and you'll see a mythical faun, a creature you'd expect to see here. But this faun is not just any faun. He is holding something distinctly modern in his hand. It's a single-scoop ice cream cone, complete with the classic waffle cone texture. No one argues that ancient aliens brought ice cream to the builders of Salamanca Cathedral. This playful addition serves as definitive proof of the stonemason's modern signature tradition. The ice cream cone, a symbol of simple modern pleasure, complements the high-tech astronaut. Together, they perfectly encapsulate the spirit of the late 20th century, as intended by the restorers. The mystery is not only solved but enriched with a story of creativity, humor, and tradition. So why does the ancient astronaut theory persist, even with a clear and documented explanation? The allure of a grand unsolved mystery is often more powerful than a simple terrestrial truth. In the age of the internet, compelling stories, true or not, can spread across the globe in an instant. The astronaut of Salamanca became a poster figure for out-of-place artifacts detached from its real story. The story of the restoration is readily available, yet many prefer the more sensational narrative. This phenomenon reveals more about human psychology than it does about ancient history or aliens. We are drawn to stories that challenge our worldview and hint at a larger, hidden reality. The astronaut carving became a perfect vessel for these desires, a modern myth created in 1992. Interestingly, this modern myth has now become part of the cathedral's long and complex history. The story of the mystery is now as much a part of its identity as the story of its creation. So, the astronaut of Salamanca is not a traveler from the stars, nor a prophet's vision. It is a tribute, a signature, and a testament to the ongoing life of a historic monument. It proves that cathedrals are not just relics of the past, but living documents that continue to evolve. Each generation that cares for it leaves its mark, weaving its own story into the stone. The astronaut and the faun are the 20th century's contribution to this centuries-long narrative. They sit alongside saints from the 16th century and gargoyles from the 17th, each authentic to its time. The true story is one of human hands, of tradition, and of a playful nod to the future. It's a story of how we honor the past, not by leaving it untouched, but by carefully adding our own chapter. Next time you see an impossible artifact, remember the astronaut of Salamanca. The truth may not be from another world, but from the creativity and tradition right here on our own. The Salamanca New Cathedral is a masterpiece of late Gothic and Plateresque architectural styles. The term plateresque comes from the Spanish word for silversmith, platero. It refers to the extremely ornate and detailed decorative carvings that adorn the facades. This style treats stone as if it were a precious metal to be intricately shaped and decorated. Floral motifs, medallions, and fantastical creatures are all woven into the design. This decorative richness is what makes the building so visually captivating and complex. It also provides the perfect camouflage for a restorer's playful, modern additions. The astronaut's form, though modern, is integrated within a pillar covered in traditional motifs. This understanding of the architectural style is crucial to appreciating the carver's cleverness. The style itself created the opportunity for this wonderful historical puzzle to exist. The practice of adding a restorer's mark is not unique to Salamanca Cathedral. It's a cherished, if sometimes controversial, tradition among preservationists worldwide. For example, on the Chapel of Bethlehem in Saint-Jean-de-Boiseau, France, things get even wilder. A 1990s restoration replaced destroyed pinnacles with figures from the movie Alien. Yes, a Geiger-esque creature sits atop a 15th century chapel, a shocking and humorous addition. In Germany's Freiburg Minster, one gargoyle is depicted talking on a telephone. At Washington National Cathedral in the US, a Darth Vader grotesque looms from the tower. These additions are often placed high up as subtle jokes for those who look closely. They continue the medieval tradition where carvers would add humorous or satirical figures. Seen in this light, the Salamanca astronaut is part of a proud, global, and quirky tradition. The choice of an astronaut was not random, it was deeply symbolic of the era. The restoration took place in 1992, just over 2 decades after the first moon landing. Space exploration represented the pinnacle of 20th century human ambition and technological achievement. It was a symbol of looking forward, of reaching for the heavens in a new, scientific way. In medieval times, the cathedral itself was humanity's greatest reach towards the divine. The astronaut, in a way, is the modern equivalent of that same aspiration to explore the unknown. It connects the faith-driven ambition of the past with the science-driven ambition of the present. The carver wasn't just making a joke, he was making a profound statement about continuity. The human drive to understand our place in the universe remains, though our methods change. The astronaut is a bridge between ages, a modern pilgrim on an ancient wall. Let's take a moment to appreciate the sheer skill involved in this act of restoration. Carving new stone to perfectly match the aesthetic of a centuries-old building is no easy task. The carver had to create a modern figure that stylistically belonged on a Gothic facade. Notice how the astronaut is not simply pasted on, but is emerging from the stone itself. The texture of the suit, the lines of the helmet, all are rendered with incredible precision. This is not the work of an amateur, but a master craftsman with deep respect for the original structure. The choice of Villemeyer stone, the same as the original, ensures a perfect material match. Over time, this new stone will weather and age, blending in even more with its ancient surroundings. The artistry lies in creating something new that honors the old, a delicate balancing act. The astronaut is as much a monument to craftsmanship as it is a symbol of the modern age. The astronaut isn't the only hidden figure that attracts visitors to Salamanca. On the facade of the adjacent University of Salamanca, there is another, much older tradition. Students have a long-standing quest to find the lucky frog before their exams. Hidden among the plateresque details is a tiny carving of a frog sitting atop a skull. Legend says that if a student can spot it without help, they will pass their exams. The frog on the skull is thought to be a memento mori, a reminder of mortality. This shows that the idea of hiding small, symbolic figures in plain sight is part of Salamanca's culture. The astronaut is, in essence, a modern continuation of the lucky frog game. It adds a new layer to the city's tradition of architectural hide-and-seek. These details transform the city's buildings from static monuments into interactive experiences. Unfortunately, the astronaut's fame has come with a downside: unwanted attention and damage. In 2010, the carving was vandalized, with its face and part of its arm chipped away. This act was a blow not just to the carving, but to the spirit of the restoration. It highlighted the fragility of these works of art, both ancient and modern. Thankfully, the cathedral authorities acted quickly to repair the beloved figure. A new piece of stone was carefully grafted onto the carving to restore its original form. The repair itself is a new chapter in the astronaut's already eventful short history. This incident ironically adds another layer of authenticity to its status as a historical object. Historical artifacts are often defined by the journey they take through time, including their damages and repairs. The astronaut's scar is now a part of its story, a reminder of its place in a turbulent world. While the exterior holds modern secrets, the interior of the cathedral is a world of timeless grandeur. Stepping inside is like stepping back 500 years in time. Soaring, vaulted ceilings draw the eye upward, designed to make one feel small and reverent. Light filters through enormous stained glass windows, painting the stone floors in jewel tones. The main altarpiece is a breathtaking work of art, covered in gold leaf and intricate sculptures. Every chapel and alcove contains priceless artworks, tombs, and religious artifacts. The sheer scale and opulence stand in stark contrast to the small, subtle jokes on the exterior. It shows a reverence for the sacred purpose of the building's interior. The exterior can tell stories and jokes, but the interior is reserved for contemplation and worship. This duality is part of what makes the cathedral such a rich and compelling place. The cathedral and its mysteries are the heart of a truly remarkable city. Salamanca is known as La Ciudad Dorada, or the Golden City. This is due to the widespread use of that beautiful Villamayor sandstone in its buildings. Its university, founded in the 12th century, is one of the oldest in the world. The city is a vibrant hub of history, culture, and youthful energy from its student population. The magnificent Plaza Mayor is considered one of the most beautiful squares in all of Spain. Ancient Roman bridges stand alongside bustling modern cafes and shops. This blend of old and new is the defining characteristic of Salamanca. The astronaut carving is not an anomaly in this city, but a perfect expression of its spirit. It's a place where history is not just preserved, but actively engaged with and added to. Let's go back to the astronaut's often overlooked companion, the ice cream-eating faun. While the astronaut represents grand ambition, the faun represents simple, everyday pleasure. Its inclusion is a stroke of genius, grounding the high-tech astronaut with a touch of whimsy. The detail is just as remarkable, from the creature's horns to the drip on the cone. This figure is the ultimate confirmation that the carvings are a deliberate, modern signature. No convoluted theory can explain away a medieval faun enjoying a frozen dessert. It serves as the punchline to the astronaut's setup, completing the 20th century diptych. The choice of a faun, a creature of myth, to hold the ice cream is also clever. It blends the ancient world of myth with the modern world of simple pleasures. Together, these two figures tell a more complete story of our time than either could alone. What do the cathedral's own administrators think of these quirky additions? Far from being a secret, the cathedral administration has always been open about the carving's origins. They acknowledge it as part of the restorer's tradition, a legitimate part of the cathedral's history. The carvings were not done in secret, but with the full knowledge and permission of the project supervisors. They understand that the mystery and tourism it generates are beneficial for the city. The astronaut has become an unofficial mascot for Salamanca, drawing curious visitors from around the world. Local tour guides are well versed in both the myth and the reality of the carving. They often present the ancient mystery first before revealing the true, charming story. This embrace of the astronaut's dual identity as both fact and fiction is part of its magic. The city and the church have wisely chosen to celebrate the story in all its facets. So we began with a seemingly impossible artifact, an astronaut on a centuries-old cathedral. We explored the tantalizing theory of ancient visitors from the stars leaving their mark. This explanation, while exciting, crumbled under the weight of simple physical evidence. The truth was not in the past, but in the much more recent history of 1992. We discovered the stonemason's tradition of leaving a contemporary signature during restoration. The astronaut was chosen as a symbol of the 20th century's greatest achievement. The case was sealed by the discovery of his companion, the faun with an ice cream cone. The story became one of human artistry, tradition, and a wonderful sense of humor. The mystery wasn't that it existed, but why it was put there, and the answer is delightful. It is a perfect example of how the most rewarding truths are often hidden in plain sight. The astronaut of Salamanca is more than just a curiosity or an internet mystery. It is a celebration of human history in all its forms, ancient, modern, and future. It reminds us that our grandest monuments are not frozen in time, but are part of a continuing story. The hands that built it and the hands that preserve it are all part of the same legacy. It is a story of respect for the past and a confident, playful glance towards the future. A story written not with ink, but with a hammer and chisel for generations to discover. So the next time you look at an ancient wall, look closer. You never know what you might find. A joke, a signature, a symbol, or perhaps a brand new mystery waiting to be told. The story of the Salamanca Cathedral is still being written, one stone at a time. A timeless monument to faith, art, and the enduring creative spirit of humanity.